People are clustered in the presentation hall, mostly noble guests, not servants, although a few still linger. Like Colette, I hover in the shadow of Gaston, but no one seems to be paying me particular notice. A different uniform, a different, more timid posture, and no reason to catch anyone's attention, especially when their attention seems to be drawn elsewhere.
Will not be making an appearance. She is resting.
How do we know that one's the real one? How do we know there is a real one?
I told you so. I told you the princess was an imposter.
Silence! There is no imposter.
That's right. Dolores told me that first night that there were rumors about Cassidy being an imposter. My disguise and the ensuing search may have stirred up more confusion than I anticipated. Uh-oh.
The infiltrator was in temporary disguise, which was easily seen through.
Oh, it was it? Then how would he explain the guards losing track of me? Spin your tale too quickly and it can be easily unraveled.
The infiltrator has now left the palace, pursued by a highly trained squadron of guards.
Of course, his fiction will cover my tracks for the moment, and the rest isn't my problem.
The princess has been through a great deal of strain and is resting. She will see no one, no person of any rank, not even the wisdom herself, shall be granted an audience. Anyone attempting to breach that order will find themselves in the dungeon.
Oh dear. It seems that contacting Cassidy will be more difficult than I had expected. How do we know she's even here?
Yes, Friedrich, do tell.
Oh, Farad. Haven't seen you yet.
Nice to see ya.
Out of the shadows steps Duke Farad.
How are we to know that your daughter remains in good health? Surely you wouldn't hide such important information from the peers of the realm.
No one is surprised by your interest in such events, Farad. Nor would they be surprised if it turned out that this missing infiltrator was in your employ.
Perhaps they would not be surprised. I, however, would be. Tell us, where is my cousin?
Once again, Princess Cassidy is in her room, resting. This ridiculous behavior reflects poorly on all of you. You may convey your good wishes to her at tonight's festivities and not before. Now be gone with all of you, or else you will not be welcome this evening.
With a great deal of grumbling, the crowd begins to break up. That was my grumbling noise. I press back against the walls, staying out of sight while people flow past. Colette lingers beside me, her dark eyes wide. Gaston, on the other hand, stands like a rock in the stream, forcing others to make their excuses and go around. Only when the press has thinned does he turn his attention back to me.
I thought you should see. It is a plot, yes? My poor princess. She has need of me and I cannot reach her.
Forces do seem to be arrayed against us. What can we do?
Ah, I have it! You can go back in the same way that you came out, yes? Snatching the prize direct from the nest like a queen of thieves.
Shh, not so loud. Anyway, it wouldn't work. King Friedrich made certain that everyone heard that Cassidy is alone in her rooms, which means that it is most definitely a trap. If any of us are found trying to enter those rooms, there will be trouble. No, her room is full of guards, and Cassidy is somewhere else, but we have no way to know where. I suspect we really won't be able to reach her until tonight. What is going on tonight, anyway? In the dungeons, I've lost track of the schedule.
Tonight a concert of ensaladas, proclaiming the virtues of the Princess Cassidy.
Music. That won't present much opportunity for secret conversation. Well, I'm sure she'll try to get a message to you somehow. In the meantime, we'll have to investigate on our own. There are several questions that need answering. Why were Dolores' crimes attributed to me? If she is an agent, who does she work for? And where is she now? Why did someone attempt to murder Princess Cassidy, and is she still in danger? Why did the king in his wisdom hide the truth from Cassidy, and why have they kept Cassidy and Callum apart? Cassidy said it was Callum who told her about my climbing skills. I don't believe that ever came up while we were outside of the castle. That means she must have spoken to him since her return, probably while she was planning to rescue me from the dungeon. She may be too tightly guarded to reach, but he may not be.
What should we do?
I will go and ask some questions, see what I can learn. You should take a walk around the palace, slow and steady. Don't linger anywhere in particular. See if you can tell where the guards are and where they're watching. Cassidy's room, obviously, but other places as well. Don't try to get into any place that they want to keep you out of. Just notice them. And then there's Colette.
I will fetch food from the kitchens. You still need to eat.
That's probably a good idea. I'll see you later. So, now I need to find Prince Callum. Or else... Everything that's happened since we returned to the castle has been at the command of King Friedrich. I haven't seen the wisdom anywhere. The king mentioned that even she wouldn't be allowed to visit Cassidy at the moment. Is it possible that the king and his wisdom are at odds? If so, Paloma would be much more likely to have information on the current situation than Callum would. On the other hand, it's quite a gamble. Speaking to Paloma could mean a fast trip back to the dungeons for me. Or worse. Well, I don't really trust Cassidy's mom. I'll look for Callum. Caution is the mother of safety. Callum can be trusted to be on Cassidy's side. Indeed. I make my way through the halls, head downcast like a timid mouse of a parlor maid. After locating Callum's personal chambers, I tap on the door for admittance. You rang for service, sir?
What is it now? I didn't call for... Ah, I see. Come inside, quickly.
Oh. But when I enter his room, I am the one who is most surprised. You!
I'm afraid I can't allow you to kill her, much as I might appreciate watching.
What is she doing here?
She has been assigned as my valet.
Her? You cannot be serious.
Believe me, it weren't my idea.
You are ridiculous enough as a page. This is an insult to proper companions everywhere.
Well, you don't look like no proper companion now, do you? What's with that getup?
I'm in disguise. I had to be since they sentenced me for your crimes. I know. And are you going to tell me why that is?
I might if I knew it.
What did... Gah! Will you tell me what's going on?
Ha! You have first-hand experience of just how trusted and well-informed my parents keep me.
They must have told you something.
Indeed. What I was told is that this woman is owed a debt of some nature. As a matter of honor, her crime must be forgiven. Therefore, it was necessary to assign blame to someone else, that being you. I'm surprised you went along with it.
I didn't have a lot of choice in the matter. So what is this debt?
I don't know.
I've got such an angry look in my eyes.
Look, I'm sorry you got locked up, but you're obviously okay now, so you've got no call to have a go at me.
I'm okay? I'm a wanted criminal. My reputation is ruined. If I get out of here and back to Ascendaware, I may well end up on the street. On a street. Yes, that.
What a terrible end, right where I began.
If she's your servant now, can you send her away?
That would be nice. I don't trust her out of my sight.
Fine, fine. How am I supposed to ask him anything serious with that girl here listening to us? Do you believe this debt story?
I don't know. I haven't come up with any better theories.
I assumed she was someone's minion and her life was spared as a bargaining chip against her master. Or a favor owed. That could be the debt.
Perhaps, but it seems a poor bargain. What use would she be as a tool now?
Keeping her alive means she keeps her master's secrets?
I don't have a secret, master.
No one's asking you. If she does, it's a well-kept secret. I've never seen sign, and I've always wondered how she got here. She told me she was plucked from an orphanage as a goodwill gesture by the king. Because I was. And I wish I hadn't been. You kidnapped his daughter and held her for ransom, and he's forgiven you for it. That is an impressive amount of goodwill. True. And now you've received a promotion and a position that you are in no way entitled to, and you're still not grateful? I'm glad I'm not dead, but I'm not glad that I'm here. Never mind. There's no point in talking to you. Just a second, I need some water. There we go. Either she knows nothing, or she's too skilled a liar to let anything slip. I came here because Cassidy helped me, but now she's under restrictions and I can't reach her. I was hoping you knew something more of what's going on. I met my sister yesterday with her guards, but only briefly. She told me to trust her, that she would see these wrongs righted, and that they would not stop her because she was heir. Well, it looks like they have stopped her, at least for now. She freed me, but her plan only made everyone more paranoid, and they've locked her up tighter than ever. I'm afraid I can't argue with my parents' actions this time. There was an assassin. Cassidy needs protection. So you don't know who was behind that? If they have discovered anything, no one has informed me. And that doesn't make you furious? I have a great deal of experience in being patient. I am willing to wait a while and see what my sister will do. Of course, he loses nothing by waiting. I am the one whose position is precarious. They're still lying to her, you know. They didn't even tell her about what they did to me. I know, but they won't be able to get away with it for long, now that she doesn't trust them anymore. As Cassidy said, she is the heir. Everything depends on her. If she makes a choice in the end, they have to accept it. So that's that. Callum can't help me now. At least I know what became of Dolores, even if I can't understand why. Oh, that didn't help. Confused and uncertain, I returned to the halls of the palace. Only to cross paths with Prince Gaston.
Ah, Matilda, how goes your errand?
Not as productively as I might have hoped, my lord. Not as productive as I might have hoped, monsieur. Instead of finding answers to my questions, I have found new uncertainties. There's a chance that our actions are putting Cassidy in more danger rather than less. Yes? Monsieur, does it concern you that we are acting against the attempts of her family to keep her safe? Is it right to continue on this course if we are endangering the very person we are trying to serve?
Matilda, a man does not show his love for a woman by keeping her in a cage. My beloved wishes for freedom, and for the knowledge that is her birthright. Put your faith in her light, trust in her, and in your heart you will know what to do.
You barely know her, monsieur.
I know her. The soul of a true hero recognizes its destiny.
His devotion is, perhaps, a bit mad, but it is certainly constant. What have you discovered in your own quest, monsieur?
Not enough. There are many guards, most especially before the doors of my beloved's own rooms, and those of your master.
Cassidy did tell us that Oscar was being kept under heavy guard. Poor Oscar. If he has any idea what's been happening, he must be terribly worried. It doesn't seem worth the risk to try and reach him without more news to deliver.
I will continue to search.
Alright, but be careful. I think we mostly need to wait for tonight. I'll be waiting in your rooms.
Yes, my Colette will see to your needs. And perhaps you will see to hers, You will be good for her, not like that last one.
What?
A cruel woman who trifled with a young maid's heart and crushed her spirit.
Oh. Is Colette Madeleine's love interest, not Gaston? That's interesting. What?
Countess Vile. Or Violet. One of those. One of those who enjoys only the first taste of a dessert. My poor Colette believed herself in love, even requesting leave of her responsibilities to follow her heart, only to discover that the heartless crone had left without her.
A countess?
Surely you know that my dear Colette loves only women. Except for myself, of course, but that is no fault of hers. My charms are too much for any to resist.
Colette is a sophiste? Is that how you say it? Sophiste? I don't know what that is.
Now I must continue my quest. Until later, my dove.
Why didn't she tell me? Well, there hasn't really been time... Excuse me. There hasn't really been time for it, and it hasn't really come up. When I return to Gaston's room, Colette is laying out a simple spread of bread rolls with butter and jam, plus a platter of cheese. It's not the finest meats in the land, but it should do for now. I've even got a bit of rose water. The kitchen thought it was for Gaston. You should have asked me first. What, you don't like rose water? What? If you don't care for rose water, I could fetch milk. Not about that. You should have told me about you. Whoa, Madeleine, why are you getting so angry? I don't... You shared a bath with me. What those guards saw was nothing grave, but you. I pause, losing track of my thoughts as I catch sight of the tears in her eyes. I hope you're ashamed of yourself, Madeleine. I'm sorry. It wasn't your idea, I know that. I was just surprised, that's all. Not a word emerges from her lips, only a faint, strangled squeak. I don't have much experience with women. That did not come out quite as I intended it. I don't have any close friends who are women. I've never had a chance for normal female interaction. And I thought we were getting to know each other, and so I was confused when you... Never mind. Telling her that she is not normal would not be much of an apology, would it? Besides, that's hardly the case. There have been men and women who love their own kind for as long as there have been men and women. It's only that I have little knowledge of the subject. And why would I? Since reaching adulthood, the focus of my life has been on preparing my prince for marriage. I haven't had the chance even to explore my own romantic desires, much less to learn about anyone else's. Please accept my apologies. I wasn't thinking. Yeah, that was totally random. And, thank you for the food. It looks lovely. She says nothing. I really am quite hungry, so if you don't mind, I think I'll eat now. Please, join me, if you like. I ate already. Oh, well, fine. I've clearly made a mess of things here, but my stomach demands its fair share of attention. Madeleine. I take a seat and help myself to the food that Colette has provided. As I eat, my skin prickles with the sensation of being watched, but whenever I look up, the maid is glancing in some other direction. Thankfully, before the atmosphere can grow any more tense, the room is brightened by the addition of a large amount of sparkle.
Ah, good, you are getting along well.
Oh, Gaston. Yes, monsieur. Have you discovered anything new in your searches, monsieur?
Alas, no. Nothing of which I could be certain.
Well, we didn't expect certainty from this. After all, it is Princess Cassidy's orders that we are waiting for.
Yes, of course. My beloved will command our hearts. And for that I must look my best when next we meet again. Colette?
Yes, monsieur. Right away. Right away what?
My best clothing requires special adjustment.
It transpires that some of Gaston's outfits require him to be sewn into them each time that they are worn, in order to maintain a tight fit and a smooth, unbroken line. While I cannot argue with the result, I am secretly appreciative that Oscar's wardrobe requirements are less exacting. Or perhaps I should have been doing things like this all along. Sewing has never been one of my most highly rated skills. I can mend a torn seam or replace a lost button easily enough, but I've done no more than that since I was a child. It shouldn't be that difficult to improve my technique. It is only a matter of coordination between the mind and the hands, which I have, Perhaps a discussion on that subject would allow me to mend my relationship with Colette, so to speak. Relationship.
There we are, an appearance fit for the eyes of a princess.
Indeed, monsieur. You are a feast for the eyes, monsieur.
And now I must make myself available to serve my beloved's most clandestine needs.
Monsieur, if while you are involved in tonight's festivities, you should have the opportunity to speak privately with Oscar, could you let him know that I am all right discreetly? I don't know if he'll be there, and it isn't worth taking any extra risks for, but if you have the chance...
You are a considerate companion, of course.
Thank you, monsieur.
Have patience, my lovely maids, and fortune will favor us yet.
And so he leaves me alone with Colette. I was wondering... Oh? Could you show me a bit about sewing? You cannot sew? Well, I can thread a needle and stitch two scraps together. But I haven't attempted embroidery since I was a little girl, and I don't know the first thing about tailoring. Yes, your duties are different. What do you do? Climb buildings, sneak around, eavesdrop, spread rumors, check for traps, barter, read, gamble. My duties are mostly to promote my prince's interests and to keep him safe. That means learning about as many subjects as possible so that I can offer him good advice. If someone plots against him, then I'm meant to be able to intervene. If someone attacks him, I'm meant to fight back. And if nothing else will do, to take the blow for him. You are supposed to die? Well, it doesn't happen often. And you are happy doing this? I was. But no matter what happens here, my future is going to change. I cannot stay with Oscar forever. I would like to learn more, to see more of the world, but I could never fight. You might be surprised at what you could do if you had need enough. But you wish for me to teach you sewing? I am also supposed to arrange my prince's hair and wardrobe. I could benefit from your expertise. All right. Good. Now, what do you want in exchange? Pardon me? Trading is a valuable skill to develop. Oh. Well, perhaps if I show you some stitching, and you can tell me about your castle in Ascendaware? I think we can do that. Thus we arrange to pass the time until Prince Gaston's return. Chapter 7b, The Heroine. That's me. It is late in the evening when Gaston returns, a spring in his step and a sparkle in his eye.
My beloved calls on us for aid. It is wonderful news.
He grabs Colette's hands and pulls her close. Monsieur, no!
Ah, my apologies. My enthusiasm sweeps me away like a cork on the tide. Tide, yes, I bring good tidings.
He reaches into his jacket and pulls out a folded piece of paper, which he presents to me with a flourish.
A secret communication from the Princess Cassidy.
With trepidation, I open it and read. They're keeping her in Oscar's rooms? It does make a certain amount of sense. Oscar's rooms were already known to be under guard, so moving Cassidy there wouldn't attract any new attention. Gaston even mentioned the guard detail stationed there, and I thought nothing of it. This is good news. With her willing collusion, it should be child's play to slip back through my old window. If they haven't removed all of our possessions, I can even replace my gloves there. I wonder if that means Oscar is now in Cassidy's bedroom. Did you have a chance to speak to Oscar?
Ah, we exchanged nods. It is enough. More important is that I spent the evening warming myself by the fire of my beloved's regard.
I suppose counting on Gaston to pay much attention to another man is an unlikely prospect. Indeed.
You will go to her, yes? You will carry out her wishes?
I'll need to wait a bit longer to be sure she's had time to return to the rooms and settle in. It wouldn't do to run into our guards now after waiting so carefully.
Of course. I trust you to know what is best.
Good luck! Thanks, guys. The journey to what was once my window is not without its own worries. The growing dark makes it more difficult to see hazards and handholds, and I am still without my equipment. Cassidy might have been moved again without her foreknowledge. Guards might be on duty even inside the rooms. Given my current reputation, a guard recognizing me might attack with deadly force on sight, and I no longer have weapons of my own. Alert and prepared to flee, I make my entrance.